Welcome, one and all, to Scotch and Smoke Rings, episode 488. I am your friendly neighborhood Oxhorn here, as always, with suspenders set to maximum stun. Got a great show for you today. It's on the tail end, or coming on the tail end, of a 7 or 8 hour long broadcast. I think it was around 7 hour long. So we had a great time exploring Appalachia. But it's starting to catch up with me. So it's going to be a shorter episode today. We're going to be doing a 1 hour long episode of Scotch and Smoke Rings with no Wolfenstein at the end. I'm kind of gamed out for now. So after the program, I'm going to chill with the family a bit and then go to bed. But this is our time once a week for you guys to have your answers or your questions answered. This is the one time each week where I don't have any distractions, no games I'm trying to play, no quests I'm trying to complete, no caps I'm trying to earn, just you and me and the chat room and having a great time. I'm also out of cigars. I used my last cigar during our broadcast earlier today. I thought that I was going to get a nice big box of them in time for the program, but that seems to not have been the case. So I'm completely out of cigars. No cigars for the broadcast tonight, but I should have some new cigars in time for the show on Saturday. So we can all look forward to that. Thomas says, have you played the new California mod? I haven't played it yet. I did see the trailer for it, and it looks great. So I'm looking forward to taking a look at it. All right. This is what's on the menu today. A brand new bottle of Glenfiddich. The Game Awards is on. Oh, well, I guess you'll have to decide. Do we watch Oxhorn? Do we watch the YouTube Game Awards? Tell you what, the YouTube Game Awards will be interesting when I'm on it. Just saying, someday, you'll be able to watch both at the same time. Maybe I'll broadcast Scotch and Smoke Rings from the YouTube Game Awards. Oh, man. I just destroyed the pull tab. How am I going to take this tin foil off? So as many of you know, I've been out of Scotch on the program for a few weeks now. But I wanted to rectify that. So I've got a brand new bottle of Scotch. This is a 14-year-old bottle of Glenfiddich single malt Scotch whiskey. Independent family distilleries, or distillers, since 1887. Here's that $1 million sound. This is what we all come for. Here we go. We may not have a cigar on the broadcast today, but that doesn't mean we have to be Neanderthals. We can, of course, still enjoy a small dabble of Scotch. Cheers. The Lost Zeta says, someone help me with my problems. Well, in the words of Dr. Fraser Crane, I'm listening. I'm catching up on my Frasier. I watched a few episodes in the 90s when I was younger, but I'm able to better appreciate it. Steve Stalvey says, thank God, I was getting worried this would become Mountain Dew and vapor clouds. No vapor clouds here on this program. I have yet to use a vape pen, what the cool kids these days are using. They're like little inhalers with, are they called vapes? Yeah, they're called vapes. Speaking of vapes, I thought I would show off my new chem collection. Vault Dude says, so glad your show is on. Oh, by the way, just found out I'm going to be a father. This is the best Christmas present I could have ever received. Cheers, my friend. By the way, how do I become a member? Congratulations, Vault Dude, in every way imaginable. That's excellent news. You can become a member by clicking the join button at the top of my channel page. I believe that's the easiest way to go about it. The Dark Seraph says, no cigar for me, but I got some Fireball. Cheers. Cheers indeed. Epic Sushi Roll says, where'd you get the fedora? Common misconception. This is a derby, not a fedora. And I got it at MikeTheHatter.com years ago. I think they're still around. Matthew Albanese says, are you watching for the new Creation Club content for Fallout 4? With patch 1.29, it should be on the horizon. Christmas items, Zeta Workshop, and more. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to creating videos about the new Creation Club items in upcoming episodes. Anyway, I'm almost done with my chem collection. There are a bunch of wonderfully creative people on Etsy and eBay that have been creating props from the games. And this is one of the things I love best about the Fallout gaming community is the endless creativity of the players and the fact that the game just inspires creativity from other people, whether it's creating fan fictions or cosplaying or coming up with really cool props like this. So I believe they use 3D printers to create these. They do three-dimensional models and then they print them out and then they hand paint them. They have to hand paint them. And so I don't remember the names of each of the individual shops I bought these from. But just go on to Etsy or eBay and, search for Jet or Psycho or whatever. And you can usually find a piece of chem that you can get to add to your collection. Master and the Assassin, pardon me, says, Zox, do you like The Wanderer and can you sing it? I can sing it, and I do like The Wanderer, but I'm not going to sing it just because I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood to sing. I sang a little bit on my program earlier today during my live stream. They didn't care. Somebody asked me just sing something. So I sang Henry VIII. And I think I'm good. I think I'm good on singing for now. But there's my piece of Jet. And let's see. I also have a Med-X. This was the best Med-X I could find. There were a number of Med-X's on Etsy, and most of them I just didn't like. They didn't appear to be the right size. They were way too small. The Med-X in the game is huge. I mean, it's a huge needle. If you take a look at it, it's just big. Or they would have needles that weren't sharp enough. And even this one has a needle that's just a bit too big in diameter. But it was the thinnest needle for Med-X that I could find. So there's my Med-X. I'm loving it so far. Dawson Holiday says, hey, Ox, remember I told you that I was going to roleplay as a merchant in Fallout 76? Well, I've been doing that, and I must say, I consider myself a rather successful post-nuclear capitalist. Pardon me. That's great, Dawson. I haven't gotten into the capitalism part of Fallout 76 yet. I just drop everything I don't want. I probably have lost a lot of money that way. Master of None says Obsidian dropped a new game, might have potential. That's great news. I hope it works really well for them. So there's my Med-X. Nicely hand painted. And then this is a recent delivery. This is some Daddy-O from Fallout 4. I just love the shape of it. It has a needle like many of the others, clearly for injecting. And looks... It's interesting when you have something like this in your hand, you get a better idea of the technology behind the deployment, like the way they conceptualized it. So Daddy-O is supposed to mix two different chemicals, which are each held separately in these two separate vials, but upon injection, they mix in your bloodstream to create the Daddy-O effect, which is an interesting piece of trivia about the Daddy-O drug. Apparently it's rather volatile, so you can't have both chemicals mixed together. You got to mix it with the injection. Then there is, of course, the Stim Pack. And this has the best needle of any of the chems that I've got. It's sharp. It could actually poke you. And she did a really good job with the Stim Pack. We have the electrodes coming here to the dial. I don't know what the technology is behind that, what it's supposed to mean, but the numbers on the dial are really clear and easy to see, and yet she weathered it. There's like dried blood on there and rust around the edges, and if you look really closely, the liquid in the middle moves. There is a liquid inside the vial. And there are stringy things in there. It looks nasty, but it's a very well done prop. If you're squeamish, you may not want to look. Captain Noir says, confirmed Oxhorn is a junkie. 2018. A chem junkie, sure. A is for America says, hi Oxhorn, loved your Fallout 1 playthrough. How soon may we expect Fallout 2? I don't want to watch anyone else's because your style is so unique. Thank you, A is for America. Soon is the way I answer that question. Soon. I plan to do it. I have a lot of other priorities, including Fallout 3, finishing Fallout New Vegas, exploring Fallout 76. It's something I want to do, but it's going to be a bit. Only one guy can only get through too much. Steve Stavley is writing my obituary. Local man found buried beneath Fallout replicas. That's probably accurate. If you're squeamish, you may want to look away now, because I'm going to show you some rat away. All right? So, my wife opened this box when it arrived, because, we're getting each other Christmas gifts. And she got me something on Etsy, and so she thought, this is the thing I got for Brandon. And so she opened the box and saw this, and she shrieked and dropped it and started to dry heave. Because she didn't know what it was. She was so grossed out by this. It's so realistic, and the reason it's realistic is, as you can see, there's a real fluid in there, and it's viscous. It's not just dyed water. She added some sort of like a cornmeal or a cornstarch in there, or something to thicken it up a little bit. It's really gross. This is an extremely disgusting but realistic prop. And I love it. I love everything about it. I love the label. I love how she aged it. I love how gross it is. It's great. So this is on display proudly. Dawson Holiday says, well, don't worry, Ox. If I see you in the wasteland, I'll give you a significant discount and give you a great customer service. Well, thank you very much. I imagine you would. Vault Dude says, all those appointments you're doing are not doctor appointments, are they? If they are you okay, man? They're not all mine. They're dentist appointments, and they're my wife's. Richard Bailey says, Oxhorn graduations. You have inspired me to try to find and use a riot shotgun in Fallout New Vegas. You also inspired me to acquire a Civil War dress in Fallout 76. Well, I hope you're having a really good time. The riot shotgun in New Vegas is great. Mark Leonard says, hey, Oxhorn, I love your videos. I'm taking time out of doing my homework to watch you. Love your videos. Thank you so much for watching. So last week, I was late to a broadcast because I had an appointment. My appointment was the dentist. This tooth is being worked on. It's not done yet. This tooth is being worked on because when I was a kid, I was goofing around at school, and a teacher came by and head slammed me into a locker. He thought he was playing, but he chipped my tooth. And so I've been dealing with this for all my life, and I had to get it fixed finally. Well, I got it fixed years ago, but it was never really done right. I could always feel a little ridge on it, and it was just uncomfortable. So I just dealt with it for 20 years and decided, oh yeah, I should probably get it fixed before I die. So yeah, I got that fixed last week. And then my wife had to go in to get her wisdom teeth removed. She never had her wisdom teeth removed. And that surgery, when you're an adult in particular, is no fun. So she's been out for the past 2 days. I had to cancel my Tuesday broadcast because I had to do all the driving for the family because she was on medication because of just the pain and everything. So yeah, I was taking my kids to and from school, doing all of the things she normally had to take care of, so I couldn't do my broadcast. But she's on the mend and she's feeling better. But the entire Oxhorn family is healthy and fine. Thank you very much for your concern. Then there's this, a little vial of Rad-X. Didn't come with any pills, but the label is distressed nicely, and there are scratches all over the glass. Kyle Nuraschwanzer said, Ox, did you see Obsidian's new game trailer? I didn't, but I heard that they have a new game, so after the broadcast, I'll have to go and watch the trailer. So I tried to make everything as accurate to the game as possible. Rad-X was really hard. I couldn't find a bottle with the Rad-X label from Fallout 4. I still really like this label, though. I don't think it's from Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas. Maybe it's from Fallout 1 or something, but with the big red X on it, that's not from Fallout 4, and I couldn't find the one from Fallout 4. So I don't know if this is lore-friendly or not, but I just really like the way it looked. So I got that. Yikes, well, cheers to your health. Yeah, health is doing fine. No need to worry. Just got to take care of your teeth. Teeth are important. And then finally, I've got 2 Mentats tins. And the reason I got 2 is because I was a little bit disappointed in one. So I ordered this a while ago and it arrived, and I don't know if you can tell, but I just don't think it was put together very well. You can tell that this particular artist stacked a bunch of Altoid tins in a big triangle and then just took a big can of spray paint and sprayed it all down. You can see the edges of the Altoid tins on the sides, and that's not the way real weathering would look. I mean, you would see scratches and abrasion on the logo, but you wouldn't see a big, circular or rectangular impression in the paint of the logo. That's not very realistic. So I didn't like the way this one turned out. So I ordered another one, and this one arrived, and it was very well done. A slightly different shade of yellow. I think I liked the shade of yellow in this one a little bit better, but it was still really well done. The weathering is exceptional. All over the place, not just on there, but also on the back. So there's my little tin of Mentats, even painted on the inside. Now, the big trick is figuring out how I want to display this, because these things look great when you're looking at them from above. If they're on a shelf and you're looking at them from above and you're like, oh, okay, chems, great. But if this is a backdrop in my show, how am I going to make it aesthetically pleasing for people to be looking at from over there and to enjoy? That's the tricky thing. So I also want it to look casual. I don't want to look like each one is posed. I want it to look like someone just threw them up there, but in a nice way. I don't know how to do it. Andrew says Fallout 1 had a red and yellow pills if you ever want to fill the bottle. That's right. They did have the red and yellow pills. I don't know where I would get red and yellow pills. Tylenol? Does Tylenol have red and yellow pills? If I really wanted to seal the deal. But then again, this bottle isn't child safe, and I do have kids in the house. So I'd have to be very careful about filling this with any real thing. Maybe I could just buy dummy blanks or something. Gelatin pills or something. Welcome, new member, Kazuxo. Pleasure to have you on the program. Plarby says, may I inquire as to why you haven't been seen on Discord? We miss your face, boss. You may inquire, and yeah, I know I need to stop by Discord more often. I mean, the reason is just the same reason I've always had. I'm busy. I'm really busy. Lots of streaming, lots of videos, lots of lore, lots of building computers and trying to get my office done, and it's getting close to Christmas. All the same reasons, we all get busy this time of year. Make a Fallout-style medicine cabinet, says King's Patch. Yeah, one of my shelves is going to be dedicated to chems. What I really want to find is a first aid kit, and that I'm having a hard time finding. I mean, there are plenty of first aid kits, but to find the exact, little metal rectangular tiny first aid kit, the little white one, it's hard to find. You can't find them. So that's what I'm looking for. I'll eventually find one, and then I'll make a shelf dedicated to chems. I'm building up other collections as well, so you can see a cap stash over there next to a bottle cap mine, and a bunch of Nuka-Cola and Sunset Sarsaparilla Star bottle caps in a pile right there. Even some stars. I have some Sunset Sarsaparilla Star bottle caps over there. There's a Wonder Glue right there. That's a Wonder Glue. And then that's, oh man, that's a pork and beans. It's a tin of pork and beans. I know I have a problem, but I'm having fun. It's going to be great when it's done. And then I'll give you all the tour. I've got a bunch of new Nuka-Colas, right? I used to have just a Quantum. Now I've got a bunch. It's coming together. Welcome, new member, Reaper. Good to have you on the program today. King of the Burgers says, I love your Scotch and smoke rings, Oxhorn. I'm smoking a Rocky Patel vintage 1990 right now. Man, I'm jealous. So bummed my cigars didn't arrive on time. I thought they were going to arrive tonight, so I smoked my last cigar during my show earlier, or during my broadcast earlier. But man, I miscalculated that. Jay-Z says, hey Ox, loving your vids. Did you hear about the data leak? More bad press. I'm getting worried for the future of Bethesda. Thoughts? Yeah, I shared my thoughts on that topic during my live stream earlier today. And, I mean, it's not a small thing. Like, this isn't, that. It's not a small deal. It's a big deal. It's serious and it's bad. And, I mean, the data breach, so to put it in context, it's not like they got hacked or anything as far as I know. What happened is they created the customer service form for people who wanted to get a canvas version of the bag that was supposed to come with the Power Armor Edition version of Fallout 76. And so you had to sign up. So you click the link, you go to the Bethesda support site, you sign up with your name and your address, and then they just ship you the actual canvas bag we should have gotten with the Power Armor Edition. From what I know, there was simply a setting that was misapplied, which allowed people who had submitted that form to gain access to the form to see what other people had submitted. So it wasn't the sort of thing where people were suddenly gaining access to other Bethesda.net accounts or credit card details were leaked or anything like that. No. Worst case scenario, there's going to be a big data dump of names and addresses, which is still really bad. I mean, it's not good at all. That's still really, really bad. So it kind of just boggles the mind how something like that could happen, in a AAA gaming company like Bethesda, veterans in this field have been doing this for a long time. I mean, I was struggling with kind of trying to think about how that could have happened. And the only thing I can think of is I know that they've grown really quickly in the past few years. Like the number of people working at Bethesda at the launch of Fallout 4 and now, I think it's like 3 times as many people working. So after Fallout 4, they went on a huge hiring boom, just growing exponentially. Many of those people are working on Fallout 76. Could it just be that they weren't adequately trained? I mean, I really don't know. I'm just shooting in the dark. But it's just a bummer that happened. So it's sad all around. I mean, I'm sad for the people whose privacy is online now, or whose names were released. And I'm sad for Bethesda because clearly this wasn't intentional. But even though it was an accident, it could have been prevented, and it should have been prevented. So just a bad situation, and I'm sad that it's happened. But thankfully, they kind of turned off the tap on that data pretty quickly, so they mitigated the damage, and they announced on Twitter that they'll be reaching out to the people who were affected to let them know if their data was released. Yeah, blame the new guy, says Aquila Rosa. I mean, I have no idea. I was just speculating. Chris Lightning says, hey, Ox, where did you find the composers for your music, and how much do they charge? Well, for the longest time, I had a guy, Nathan Allen Pinard, who did all of the instrumental music for all of the songs that I wrote. This was back in my World of Warcraft days. Great guy, but he's moved on to other things. He now has a career in IT, and he doesn't have time for composing. So I had to find a composer elsewhere, and thankfully there are a bunch of wonderful, what are they called, crowdsourcing sites, or they're websites where you can go to. You offer a job. It's like a one-time job, and you say, hey, this is the job I need. This is what I'm willing to pay. Who's interested? And then people in that community within that marketplace can accept it and say, oh, I'll do it. And you go, great. And that's what it is. For the past couple of years, I've been finding composers on websites like that, a variety of different websites, not just one, offering little gigs and seeing who would like to do it. And I've recently found one guy I've been working with for 3 or 4 of the last songs I've done, who's just done such a phenomenal job, and he's such a professional. He's a great guy to work with, and so I've been hiring him for a lot of the songs that I've been doing. And the price just varies from composer to composer, project to project. So, I mean, for some of the little 30-second songs that I do, you couldn't pay less than 300 for a job like that, but usually you're going to be paying a bit more than that. Steve says, I think it's good for Bethesda in a weird way. 76, though I like it, has been a mess. Then all of this, something being humbled can really be positive. Sometimes being humbled can really be positive. I agree that sometimes being humbled can be a very positive thing. So the issue is that kind of mentality assumes a place of arrogance, and we don't know. I mean, maybe Bethesda's an arrogant company, and these things happened out of their own arrogance, and therefore it's good that they've been humbled because now it's bringing them back down to earth. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know, but I don't think anybody knows, right? Like, I don't think anyone knows people well enough at Bethesda personally to be able to say, well, these are a bunch of arrogant people who made really arrogant decisions. Sometimes I think we can say that for very specific decisions, but releasing Fallout 76, I don't think was a bad move. Like, I don't think it's a bad game. I think it's a good game. I don't think it's a game that a lot of players wanted. I still think it's a good game. So I don't think there was anything wrong with releasing the game or making it, and that they didn't need to be humbled because of that. Now, outside of the game, they have made a bunch of mistakes concerning, in particular, the Power Armor edition of Fallout 76. I mean, they just shouldn't have replaced the bag. I mean, if they were going to replace the bag, if it was the sort of thing where they were still working on sourcing materials to create the bag, then they shouldn't have put it in the marketing image. I talked about that a lot. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But to have gone ahead and published that marketing image anyway was a big no-no. They shouldn't have done that. But we have to separate that from the game. Like, the game itself, the product that they produced, is chock full of passion. And that's the one thing I discover every time I log into the game is I'll find a new holotape or a new terminal or a new location or a new set piece that has been lovingly handcrafted. Nothing was procedurally done. That you just sit there and you go, the people who made this game had passion. And I see that passion time and time and time again in the game. It may have not been the product that people wanted, but it was still a good product. And people put a lot of time and energy into that product. And I can admire the work that was done by very talented people. I mean, I couldn't have made a game like that. So, yeah, two very different issues, both of which are, equal targets for criticism. Dave says, let me get arrogant. I need a Fallout shirt that says explore for the lore. That's a good idea. Maybe I should add a new one to my collection. A collection of shirts. By the way, new shirt in the shop. I don't know if you've noticed in my last lore video, but I have a graduate of Oxhorn's driving school shirt in the shop for all of you LA Noire fans out there. I'll be advertising it at the end of tomorrow's video. Tomorrow's video is on LA Noire, so stay tuned for that. It's a great episode, over an hour long. It's another homicide case. Really good case. Xiao says, I tried to defeat, and I tried to delete. I tried to delete you. I need you to know I need to let go. This is my last confession. Don't try to save me. There's no one to blame. The heavy. I'm assuming that's some sort of a lyric. In which case, I don't know why you paid money to share it with me. But thanks for the cash. Cheers. New member, Vault Dude 63. I see you found the button. A is for America, says Oxhorn, in your best whispery lore voice. Could you please say my Fallout, my rules? It's an inside joke. Oh, you want me to? Okay, an inside joke for you. Here we go. All right. My Fallout, my rules. Was that right? In our last episode. Man, my voice is getting gravelly because it's getting late. I can't record audio for my lore videos late in the day because of this. At night, my voice gets gravelly. And I don't know why. So I have to I have to record my audio early in the morning. Wake up in the morning, get a big coffee, and then start recording as soon as I can before my voice goes. Because it gets gravelly and it just doesn't sound good. In our last episode... Yeah, it just sounds weird now. Brandon says, West Virginia native here. Would you be doing any videos on 76 and how the lore matches up to real life? West Virginia is full of lore. I haven't decided. Well, okay, I will. So, you know the Palace of the Winding Path? I already read a bunch on the West Virginian location that was based on, and it's really fascinating, real-world lore. So for things like that, I'll probably do a comparison between the one in the real world and the one in the game. Vellingham says, hello, Oxhorn. Good day to you. Is your shirt always available online? All the time? It's because I wanted your Burned Man shirt, but I didn't have the funds at the time. But now I do. Is it too late? It's not too late. You should not see a timer on my shirt shop. So the way that Teespring works, Teespring is the name of the company I use to produce my shirts, is they made their shop way back when timed sales were big. They were trying to get on the cutting edge of get it now or it's gone, you know, those sort of things. And so they built their entire system with that in mind. But I don't like that. Because it's a lie, right? There isn't a short supply. Like, it's print on demand. They print them when you buy them. It's not like there's, 10 of them have been printed, and those are the only 10 that are going to be printed this month. And if you don't buy them now, you're not going to get any. No, they print them when you buy them. So I kind of find that marketing deceptive, and I don't like that. So there's an option in your shop to turn that off. So there's no timer trying to urge you to buy now, or else the deal, you'll miss the deal. But I didn't realize that was an option to turn it off until a couple months ago. So I had the Teespring guys flip it off. So that should not be on my shop. So they should just continually recycle. So at the end of the time, when the deal is supposed to turn off, it should flip back over and start again. So yeah, buy them whenever you want. No rush. Whenever you get the money, if you want a shirt, just take your time. It'll always be there. Vault Dude says, Scotch and Heart, I just had to support my favorite YouTuber. Been watching you for 4 years, and I had to do my due diligence. Well, thank you, Vault Dude, and enjoy the new emojis. As I get more members here on YouTube, I'll be sure to add more ox emojis. Ox emojis? Is that what it's called now? Cool, we got a new thing, ox emojis. You okay, Ox? Yeah, I'm fine. I've been talking all day, so my voice is a little raspy. I just finished a 7+ hour live stream, and now I'm doing this show. So yeah, and I've been talking like this, projecting, diaphragm, So I'm gonna be sleeping well tonight, and I'm enjoying my scotch. Oh, sweet scotch, soothe the burn. With another burn. Good old scotch. Jay Bennyfield says, thoughts on 76. What is the most complex lore in it so far? That's a great way to describe it because the lore of Fallout 76 is complex. It's not straightforward. And I think that might be part of the issue that people are having with it. It doesn't hold your hand. That's true. But there's also an aspect to storytelling where it shouldn't be confusing. Good storytelling should not be confusing, right? So if it's confusing, that's a problem with the storytelling. With Fallout 76, the nature of the storytelling is so spread out that it's confusing until you start to explore more. And I understand it, and I know that that's part of the nature of the game, right? If we're trying to figure out exactly how the Scorched Beasts came to be, they tell us, but they tell us in holotapes and notes that start in Flatwoods and go all the way throughout West Virginia until finally we get the answer in the Enclave bunker. And I understand why that can frustrate some people. In terms of the most complicated story, I'm right now struggling with trying to piece together exactly what happened inside the Enclave bunker. The Brotherhood of Steel story was confusing until I started the Brotherhood of Steel quest. Then we get dumped into Camp Venture, and we get dumped into a vat of lore. And it's like, oh, we got recordings from Elder Maxon. Oh, we've got personal notes from former members of the United States military before they were absorbed into the Brotherhood of Steel. So that story began to make sense, especially by the time we finished the Brotherhood of Steel story arc. But when we got to the Enclave, we meet Mobius, or Modus. Sorry, I said Mobius. Mobius. Now we meet Modus, and we get the vibe of the Enclave, which is such a great vibe. And I'm glad that they used the voice actor who did Nick Valentine for Mobius. That was great. But I'm still trying to figure out exactly what happened to all the people. Like there are rebellions. There's like people dying, and there are brigs, and yeah, I'm just trying to figure it out. It's confusing me. And I don't like being confused. That's one of the reasons I made this channel, is when the lore confused me, I hated that. I hated being confused. I have to fix that. So I would just try dig up all of the lore and try and figure it out. Darmus lives with a tip. Thank you very much, Darmus. Buff Canuck 83 is showing off all his emojis. They're looking good. Looking good, sir. Michael McDonald says, Ox, is it me or is the Appalachian Brotherhood practically the most selfless faction with Operation Touchdown? Well, I want to say yes, because I really want to love a Brotherhood faction again. The problem is there was this one holotape that we got at Point Defiance where Roger Maxon is arguing with, what's her name? Taggarty. And he's trying to convince Taggarty to let more people into the Brotherhood. And Taggarty is resistant, exhibiting all of the same problems that members of the Brotherhood of Steel have existed in most of the factions around the world. And then there are many other terminals that we're finding where they're doing really horrible things. And they've got this alliance with the responders, but then they kind of go into responder territory and start stealing. I mean, I don't know. They do good things to fight the Scorched and the Scorched Beasts. They're selfless in that way. They're incredibly brave. But this is the problem with the Brotherhood. They see other people who are not them as commodities to be consumed and used to achieve their goal. And the Brotherhood of West Virginia is the same in that regard, which I hate to say. I hate to say that. But it's true, and that's the Brotherhood's big problem. Nocturne Mechison says, have you found Vlad and Mia, the chatting robots? I haven't. I am excited to find them. Sounds interesting. Nephilim Draco with a tip. Thank you very much, Nephilim. Ouchen says, my husband yelled when he found the meditation holotape and said, I'm not oxhorning this. It seems that you are now a verb, meaning to listen to the entire holotape in the household. Yeah, no, that meditation holotape, that was a good 15 minutes of sitting in the same spot, yelling into the microphone, just waiting for it to be done. Are you done yet? No? More? God, still playing? No. All while trying to listen to the holotape. Which was, of course, the intent. Like, they made it for that reason. It was an intentional joke. Tara says, Oxhorn, with my liver so bad I'll never be able to drink alcoholic beverages. What's so good about it and what does it taste like? I mean, every alcoholic beverage is different. It's less the way it tastes and more the way it makes you feel. It sort of loosens you up a bit is the best way I could describe it. And if you drink too much, then you regret it the next morning. But if you drink just enough and you sip it slowly, all it does is loosen you up a bit. And, you know, you're having a good time. Nonsensical Lexus says, would love to know your opinion on the trailer released by Obsidian for their new game, The Outer Worlds, especially since it's from Obsidian, would think it's right up your alley. Yeah, I feel bad that I haven't seen that yet. I mean, I did have a busy day. But yeah, I haven't seen the trailer yet, so I can't respond to it. I'll have to check it out after the broadcast. Welcome, new member, David Miller. Good to have you on the program. Are you going to be playing Fallout 4? Not right now, but I will be doing more lore videos about Fallout 4 and Creation Club Creation reviews. So yeah, still working on Fallout 4 content, still working on content from all of the other games. Never fear. Morgan Abramson says, hey, Oxhorn, what lighter do you use? Do you recommend it for a gift? Yeah, it's a great little lighter. I don't know what it's called. So I got this as a free promotional item for a box of cigars that I bought. And it says AB on it. I don't know. But it works great. This is one of the best lighters I have ever had. Oh, the Alec Bradley Cigar Company. Alec Bradley Cigar Company. I've had great luck with this lighter. And that's saying something because I typically have bad luck with lighters. So yeah, it would make a great gift. Let's move that over here for now. Nephilim Draco says, hey Ox, have you heard of the Lucky Hole Mine? It's due west of Watoga. It has a very interesting secret possibly relating to Ug Qualtoth. Yeah, it seems like every broadcast I do, I'll get 10 or so people hopping in saying I need to go to the Lucky Hole Mine. And I guess that's a sign. I guess I need to do a video on it. Maybe we'll stop by on Saturday after I finish the plot of the game. That's right. If all you want to see is the ending, tune in Saturday because I'm going to be doing the ending to the primary plot on Saturday. But yeah, Lucky Hole Mine. I'll check it out. Smoke Shit Please says, Rainier, also nice music, man. Thank you. Well, I'm not smoking today because I'm out of cigars. But next week, we'll be able to get back into that. Thank you very much, The Easy Life. Hey, Ox, he says, loving your 76 video series. Thank you very much. Lots more to come. I love all of the old world blues quotes in there. I say Mobius once and everyone breaks out with old world blues. M.I.D.Maz says, when can we expect an L.A. Noire video? Tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow. You shall not be disappointed. Josh Thomas says, hey, I just got on. What are you drinking tonight? Drinking a little bit of Glenfiddich single malt 14-year-old Scotch whiskey. Vellingham says, oh, Ox, I did miss some research and found out that the Hells Angels MC first formed on March 18th, 1948. So while not popular at the time, they did exist for a few years. So maybe it doesn't sound like they'd be so out of place in Fallout. So they... Okay. The problem is that culturally... I mean, if you want to roleplay as a Hell's Angel, roleplay as a Hell's Angel. But culturally, they don't really fit in the Fallout universe. They're more of like an 80s rock and roll biker gang or a 70s rock and roll biker gang. That's kind of the vibe and the culture that they have, that they've embraced. The gangs of an Atom Punk sort of universe are greasers, right? They're gonna those were the gangs of old and those of that particular time. It would be just as out of place, you know. What's a good example? I don't know. I don't know. For some reason, I don't see bikers in an Atom Punk post-apocalypse. It seems out of place to me. Guillermo says, Guillermo Navarro says, will you play Cyberpunk 2077? I'd love to, but I probably won't stream it because of all the nudity. Vault Dude says, any plans on doing a video on the Creation Club's new content? Stuff looks decent. Yeah, I'll be tackling it. I'll be tackling it soon. B. Cherry and Jones Drinker says, if you've you're done with Wolfenstein and you want to play a game that gives you a bit of a laugh, play Stanley Parable. Also, it also has multiple endings. Stanley Parable. All right, I'll take a note. Binary Ghost says, I'm thinking the space station will be opened up like a DLC or an expansion in a later game. But I loved your encounter with it today. That's right, we got to explore the space station today, and we walked away with a cool little space suit. But we did find a door that went deeper into a hillside. The door was locked, and outside the door was a scorched, petrified corpse reaching for the door, which was really cool. So it gives us the impression that there was something on the other side of that door. Ryan says, do you find the people in Covenant strange? I mean, yeah, especially after we know what's going on there, and we know what their intention was. They were kidnapping people to experiment on them. So, yeah, they're strange. Sola says, hey, Oxhorn, I'm enjoying the show. Did you ever find the hidden safe in the abandoned bunker? If not, it's in front of the washing machine and the tumble dryer under the water. I did. Someone on Twitter told me where it was, and I went back and found it. And I think I got maybe 2 caps. Wasn't really worth the time I spent looking for it. And I found the key that unlocks the final cell in the secret Blackguard section of Sugar Grove. And I showed off where you can get that in my video on Sugar Grove that you can watch on my channel. Dirty Bird Person says many of the first biker gangs were formed in the wake of vets coming home from World War II and much later Vietnam. Having disenfranchised out-of-work vets returning from the Yang Z campaign fits nicely, in my opinion. Yeah, that makes sense, though I think for the Hells Angels, Vietnam vets rings more true to me. If there were vets who joined biker gangs, it sounds like Vietnam vets would culturally fit better. Can we get a close-up of the new sodas on your shelf? Sure. Yeah, let me bring them over. They're not done yet. I'm going to be adding more to it. So I got these, and I was a little disappointed with them. So I bought more, and they're coming. But I'll show these to you. Lots of bottles. Holy cow. And they're heavy. And I recently got a notification that the Nuka-Cola Dark that I purchased, the officially licensed, beautifully alcoholic Nuka-Cola Dark, is on the way. It was recently shipped. All right, so also got these on Etsy or eBay. I forget exactly from whom. But this is a 3D printed Nuka-Cola Cherry, and this is one of my favorite ones, actually, because they did a wonderful job on attention to detail with the label. You can see the label fits the impression precisely, just like it is in the game. So my criticism of this particular piece is twofold. The rocket fins are way too angular. Listening to myself talk about this, I'm partially humiliating myself. I realize this. I realize that I'm revealing the fact that I'm a total geek about this. I get it, but it's important. The fins they're a little bit too boxy for my taste. If you take a look at the model in game, they're a little bit more rounded. Let's see, what's a good example? Here's a good example. So the fins, the rocket fins on the bottle in game look much more like this. This is also a 3D printed bottle, and the quality is much better in my opinion. So, you know, it's hard to tell with photographs online. So the fins are a little bit blocky, and the paint is really thick, really, really thick. You can tell, like even now touching it, it's a little it's a little sticky because the paint, they just really caked that paint on there. Now the bottle cap is nice. Check that out. I don't think that's canonical though. I don't think the Nuka-Cola Cherry had its own bottle cap that with the cherries on it. Like it should say Nuka-Cola. That's another thing, right? It's nice, but they got it wrong. It's nice, but you can't get it wrong. So, I left wonderful reviews for all of these people because this is their livelihood. Another reason why I don't want to name names because I don't want to hurt anyone's livelihood. And I left wonderful reviews on all of these people, 5 stars. But, if I can be a little critical, you got to get it right. And anyway, that one is one of my favorite. Then I got this Nuka-Cola bottle by the same creator, and it has the same problem. It's got the really boxy, angular fins, and kind of just really sticky, thick paint. Like you feel like you could scrape it off with your fingernail. It's that thick. But they got the bottle cap right. Nuka-Cola bottle cap. Perfect. And I love this. It's a wonderful impression into the bottle, but they misapplied the label. There's bubbles under the label. I shouldn't listen to myself talk because I'm disappointing myself by talking. But you can see the bubbles under the label and the little wrinkles. It just wasn't glued appropriately. Then here's my biggest pet peeve. I can't find a good glowing Nuka-Cola Quantum. I can't. I tried it. So this is the officially licensed Bethesda bottle of Nuka-Cola Quantum. And it glows. Okay, here's the pros. It comes with a little switch that you can hook to the bottom so that you can activate the light at any time. Here's the negatives. The switch looks horrible. That's how it looks. It's not, like on the bottom. No, that's the switch. Now there is an on-off switch on the bottom, but it has a timer where you turn it on and it doesn't stay lit. It turns off automatically. Yes, there's a USB charger for charging it, but it doesn't turn off the auto shut-off function. So even plugging it in, it shuts off. Now, it's a glossy plastic, which is great. We avoid the issues that come with the 3D printing, like all of the lines. But the bottle cap. Look at that bottle cap. It doesn't even look like a real bottle cap. This more closely resembles the fake bottles from the Nuka World DLC. If you go to Nuka World and there's the World of Refreshment and they had those big bottles, those big, huge metal bottles had bottle caps that looked like that. They didn't have bottle caps that look like that. So we have this impressionist style bottle cap on the top, and the fins don't look anything like the fins on the bottle from the game. The only thing they really got right with this is the label. The label looks great. But everything else about this is extremely disappointing. So I regret purchasing the official licensed bottle. So then I went on to Etsy to find a replacement, and I got this. And it glows. It does not have a switch, frustratingly. So you do have to plug it in. And I don't have holes in the back of my bookshelf, so I can't plug it in right now. But it does glow, and it has a much better glow than this one. I also love the way they did the rocket fins. This is the way they look in the game. But the problems are they totally messed up the bottle cap again, right? It's not the bottle cap from the game. It should look like a Nuka-Cola bottle cap, right? There's one bottle cap. That's the Nuka-Cola bottle cap. Every bottle has that bottle cap on the bottle. Don't make a new bottle cap for a new bottle. And I don't know. The label is great. The label is fine. But I think the 3D printing of this is a little bit better than the 3D printing of these. But even so, it's still, you can hear it. Lots of lines. It's got this sort of Venetian blind look going on. Then there's my bottle of Sunset Sarsaparilla. And I love this. It's done really well. It's got a perfectly lore-friendly Sunset Sarsaparilla bottle cap in the right colors. A dark red background with the yellow logo on top of it. It has distressed band on the top and the neck, and it's got the logo right on front. It's just great attention to detail, and it's in a real bottle. It's going to look different from the rocket bottles from Fallout 4, of course, because the Sunset Sarsaparilla bottle just had a regular looking bottle. My only criticism is that the fluid on the inside is just water that the author put like dirt and mud in to make it look, gross. Like it's 200 years old, right? This is supposed to be sarsaparilla. It's supposed to be a thick, velvety, not velvety, but it's supposed to be a thick, syrupy sort of drink, right? But it just looks like water on the inside. That's really my only criticism. Anyway, you just don't ask me about these things, because I'll just forget about everything else. I'll forget about all of your other comments. And I'll just talk and get really picky. And pickiness is not attractive. I realize that. I fully realize that. Binary Ghost says that bottle cap is atrocious. I know. Jason says looks kind of cheap. Binary Ghost says Oxhorn would be official Crimson Caravan bottle cap authenticator. I was sitting there like testing the bottle cap in my teeth to make sure it's real. Steve Stalvey says this is the best version of QVC ever. I'm gonna buy all of these things. Tara says, when are you going to make yourself some XO1? I already have. During my broadcast today, I made a full suit of XO1 power armor. Buff Canuck says, I do love custard. Or was it mustard? Ah, Mobius. All right, few more questions, then I'm going to end the program. Sabrina says, Ox, you're having a Kent Connolly moment. I know. I was really self-conscious reading Kent Connolly's letters to Shannon because, I was looking at myself in the mirror there. I'm going, this is me. This is what I sound like. It's okay. Just embrace it. I just embrace it. Jackson says, Ox destroys prop makers with facts and lore. I feel bad. They're really creative and they're just trying to make a buck and they're really putting a lot of time and attention into it. So I love these things that I have. They're great. Everything can be improved. Quelvix says, hey, Oxhorn, just tuned in. Want to say I enjoy the streams earlier. Also makes for good background noise while I'm playing WoW. Well, thank you, Quelvix, for watching. Next live stream is going to be on Saturday, and it's going to be a nice 8-hour long live stream, 4 hours break, and then 4 hours. But no Wolfenstein. Yeah, no game today. As I said at the beginning of the broadcast, I'm feeling pretty run down after all of my streaming today. Plus, we just got a Christmas tree in. We got to decorate the Christmas tree. Got to put the kids to bed. A lot of stuff going on tonight. So no Wolfenstein tonight. But we'll do Wolfenstein a week from today. Never fear, we will get back to Wolfenstein. And then I've got a lore video for you tomorrow on L.A. Noire, and then a new Fallout 76 live stream on Saturday, and then another video on Sunday. I believe it's going to be a Fallout 3 video on Sunday. Buff Kennock says, I love your show for a variety of reasons. Well, thank you. I love a variety of reasons as well. Why choose one? Ox, Obsidian's new game. Yeah, I need to watch the trailer. I'll check it out as soon as the show ends. Alex says, I love your content. Wish I could meet you someday and smoke a cigar with you. Great work. The channel is amazing. Well, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Vulpine Soul says, 1,200 atoms for Preston's duster in the Atom Shop. I'm not planning to spend atoms. I've played a lot of games with microtransactions, and I have yet to spend any virtual currency, with the exception of Fallout 4 and the Creation Club, and only because I'm reviewing that stuff. When I played Overwatch, I never bought a single loot box. Perfectly content to just, ROG it. And then in Fallout 76, I really don't plan to spend much time and attention focusing on the Atom Shop. I'm really playing the game for the lore. So all of the different costumes and skins, I'm really not that thrilled by them and probably won't be delving too deep. Steve says, well, I love your show. Get out of here and decorate for Christmas. Get some well-deserved rest. Yeah, we had the Christmas tree delivered while I was in the middle of the broadcast, and kids freaked out because they love the Christmas tree, so they were dancing all around it. And my wife freaked out because it ended up being a few feet taller than the one she ordered. She thought she was getting like a 6-footer, ended up being like a 10-footer, which is a really big tree, and it's almost too big for our place. So, but hey, now we've got this really big tree. Now we got to figure out a way to decorate it. So we're going to work on that and figure it out, put up decorations. Getting ready for the holidays. It's a lot of fun. Favorite time of the year. Obsidian's new game looks good, says Daly. Wow, you're getting me all hyped up, guys. This had better be an amazing trailer. What, no Wolfenstein? Wolfenstein? Yeah, no Wolfenstein today. I said at the beginning of the program that I can't do Wolfenstein today because I'm running out of steam. Had a long stream earlier today. Plus, I want to, head outside and hang out with the family before the kids go to bed. So no Wolfenstein today, but next week we will do Wolfenstein on Scotch and Smoke Rings. Vulpine Soul says, I found you because of the lore, and I love the content. You've made a fan, Oxhorn. Keep it up as long as you can. Also, 6-foot beard request? 6-foot beard request? Are you requesting that my beard grow to be 6 feet long? I hate to disappoint, but my terminal length is right about here. Every man has his own terminal beard length programmed into his genetics, and no amount of growing will make it any longer. Some men are destined to be Dumbledores and Gandalfs, and some men are not. And there's nothing you can do. Mine is just like a Garibaldi sized. It stops about here. Captain's Eye Patch says, Lucky Hole Mine has a straight-up Lovecraftian monster in it. Awesome. I'm really excited to explore the place. Lucky Hole Mine. I'll put it on my list. Maybe we'll tackle it Saturday. So the plan for Saturday is we're going to gear up for our big foray into one of the nuclear silos. We're going to be going to the Bravo silo on Saturday. I saved up. I got all of the codes needed for the Bravo silo today. So we're going to head there tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll survive. I have a full suit, a Vexa 1. My character is level 53 or something like that. And really, it's just ammunition. I'll probably bring my lever-action rifle, my Gauss rifle, my black powder rifle, and my shotgun and my sword. That way, I've got a bunch of different ammunition spread between a bunch of different weapons. And then I'll just try and stealth my way through it. Pain train, if they're all really low level, robots or monsters or whatever, then I'll just pain train through it all. I don't really have a lot of explosives. I don't like using explosives. I don't want to carry the explosives. They're too heavy. So, yeah. I hope I can get through it by sniping. We'll see. Blake says, what, are we just starting or ending? I'm really late. We're just ending. I'm sorry that you have to come in at the very end, but we've been broadcasting for a good hour here, and then we did a good 7 hours earlier, so time for me to head on out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Thank you so much for coming to this week's episode of Scotch and Smoke Rings. Sorry for no Wolfenstein, but we will do it next week for sure. Be sure to tune in on Saturday when I'll have my next live stream. We stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific time. The show is Thursdays, 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. New lore videos Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, 6 a.m. Pacific time. That's the schedule. Sean says, hi, Ox, been watching your BioShock playlist. Was wondering if you'll ever be returning/doing lore vids on it. Love your work. Keep it up. Don't know if I'll be doing lore vids, but I will be sure to do another live stream with BioShock. Maybe that's the game I'll do after Wolfenstein, the next BioShock. Anyway, thanks a bunch, everybody, and I will see you all tomorrow morning with a new lore video, LA Noire, and then Saturday morning for another live stream. Thanks again for watching. Have a wonderful evening.